What's going on? Welcome to the Full Battery Pack, where I take you on my journey as a first-time electric vehicle owner. We recently just picked up a Tesla Model 3, a 2020 Tesla, a 2019 Tesla Model 3, and so far I'm enjoying the EV experience. This isn't the first time I've driven an electric vehicle, but this is the first electric vehicle essentially that I've ever owned. But things like charging and range haven't been an issue so much, at least for me as an EV owner, being that my commute is short and I don't have a super lengthy, distance to go between my normal travels and just my normal commute. I also live within 3-4 miles of a supercharger that's at a Wawa, so supercharging isn't also an issue for me. Now, I haven't used level 1 charging at home. I tested it out one time just to make sure the mobile connector worked, but I haven't tried to effectively use the level 1 charger because it's a little too slow, even for my liking. But it is certainly an option should you have the ability to, say, park your vehicle overnight and then you can let it charge over time, say like 16-18 hours. This is also super helpful if you have, or if you own more than one vehicle and you have the space in your driveway to, say, charge your electric vehicle and then use your gas vehicle to get around while your EV is charging for like your normal weekly commute and just your normal driving during the week. So that is certainly an option, and it has been one for me, but I haven't had to use my level 1 mobile charger in here at all. Another good point to consider is that charging at your local library, if your local library has electric vehicle charging or electric vehicle parking, you can charge for free, and that's on a level 2 charger. And that's what I do. I compensate some of that time when I have downtime to just charge at the library. I grab a good book and I just plug it up and just top off maybe 20-30%. That adds a few days to my normal driving, and this so far has been a cost of somewhere between, charging at a supercharger anyway, I spend somewhere between $6 to $7 every 2 weeks. So no more than 20 bucks every 2 weeks in fuel, if you will, or just charging. So it's super efficient and super cost effective versus, say, if I had to fill up my gas car, it'd be somewhere between $52 to $53, and I would have to do that at least once a week. So saving some money there. I did have to buy a tire because I experienced a flat. They got cracked the rim. The rims are super thin, and these vehicles are super heavy, or heavier than normal vehicles. So I did have to put up money for a new tire. That was a little expensive, and that's one of the biggest, I guess you could say, maintenance costs with owning an electric vehicle, and that's, say, maintaining the tires. Everything else is relatively low maintenance, right? Most of what you have to do entails your infotainment center. Everything takes place on that big screen, which also has been a learning curve that quickly I adjusted to. Again, I've tested the 2024 Highland Model 3 and I tested the Model Y, but for the most part, you get very used to just having most of all your vehicle controls, housed in just that center screen, and then having your speed or monitoring your speed in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Super easy to get used to. The same thing goes with the one pedal driving or regenerative braking. That's fun. I wish more cars had it. Once I first test drove the Model 3, the Model 3 Highland, I was like, man, all cars should have one pedal driving or regenerative braking. And so the Tesla Model 3, or the model we settled on, was the standard range. So it's like the base level entry of the Model 3, but when jumping into Tesla, I kind of wanted to go slow and steady to kind of get our feet wet with just like the base model, just to get the Tesla experience, to see if it's really truly for us. That's also the reason why we held on to our gas car, and that's something I recommend for those who may be on the fence with going electric. I don't recommend you completely trade your ICE vehicle in or sell your ICE car and then go electric if you can, right? Depending on your situation, your financial situation. If you can, keep your ICE car and also get an EV, and then offset the experience with your ICE vehicle. If you're experiencing range anxiety and say you need to charge, you can again use that level 1 charger or go to a supercharger or hit a local library. More charging stations are popping up across the country here in the States, And here where I'm located in Maryland, they're far and few between, but at least where I'm located at, I'm lucky enough to have a charger station that's close to me. But we have yet to fully put this Model 3 to the test because I've heard some mixed things, or mixed feelings about taking an EV on a road trip. I watched some other YouTubers take their vehicles on a road trip, and essentially one of the biggest takeaways is that you can expect to add a lot of time to your trip. If the trip normally takes you 7 to 8 hours to complete one way, then you're going to add about at least 2.5 hours more, just because of the times you need to stop and charge, being that the chargers aren't as close as, say, a normal gas station would, right? So you can pretty much fuel up anywhere in a gas car. But we do plan on taking this Model 3 on a mini road trip, I guess you could say, to put that theory to the test to see if it's really a viable option. And it's not that because it rides rough or it's loud. It's by no means either of the two things, but it's very smooth. And it's not that I wouldn't enjoy being in this vehicle for an extended period of time on the road. I definitely would. It's just having to stop and charge as much will add to the overall time of the trip. So yeah, our journey, me and Kim, that's Kim over there, she's driving right now, but our journey as Tesla owners has just begun. But much like some of the other content I create here on YouTube, I want to be able to be that bridge to help those who may be on the fence with going over electric. Hopefully I can answer some of your questions, run into some of the problems, so you don't have to, or you can prepare for them. Let me be the burden of said cost. But our journey as EV owners, especially Tesla owners, has just begun. It's come at a very weird time here. If you're states bound or here in North America, it's come at a pretty weird time for the brand. But like me and Kim has both said, we don't let those things identify who we are. We like the vehicle. We like the way it rides. We've always wanted a Tesla. For like the last 2 to 3 years, we did plenty of research, just from charging to the maintenance and the overall cost of owning an EV. So we've already factored in and considered these things. But our journey is just getting started. So I do welcome you to help us grow this channel by hitting the subscribe button down below with the notification bell on, liking this video, dropping a comment down below. Do you own an EV? Are you on the fence? What's your experience if you have? Share it down in the comment section below. And I do hope to catch you all in the next one. So until then, be easy.